everyone, this is M&K Gaming, and we are here doing a top 5. We have a few different things that we're going to do top 5s for, but it's going to be 10 total, 5 for me and 5 for Meche.
Yep.
So we can keep you guys entertained while we're looking for games to play and editing stuff to get to you guys. Alright,
Yeah.
so who wants to go first?
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
We can switch off, I think. So
Okay.
I'm gonna say my honorable mention is Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh.
We're doing musicals, by the way. That's our topic.
Top
if you
5
didn't see the
musicals.
thumbnail or the title.
Top 5 musicals.
Yep.
I didn't even think about Dear Evan Hansen. My honorable mention is actually going to be the last 5 years. Kind of my rules for this, like I'm not sure if mine are the same as Mitch's, but the rules that I have for mine is that it's something that has originated on stage. So for example, like Prince of Egypt is a musical and it's a fantastic musical, but it was never on stage before it was in the movie.
Yeah.
So that's my criteria,
And
that it has to be on stage first.
Yeah, I think my rules were more so of not animated movies like Disney or DreamWorks.
Okay.
So my rules were just a little different.
Yeah.
You know.
We can do a different top 5
Yeah.
for animated movies later.
Yeah, so, I mean, my honorable mention was Dear Evan Hansen because I like it. I like it a lot. It's definitely in my top 10, but it didn't make it to the top 5.
Right.
So.
No, I can understand that. And I don't know if I would have made it into my top 10 either. Well, I think my top 10 has Chicago, and I think Chicago's a little campy, so it probably would have made it above Chicago anyway.
I've never seen Chicago.
It's
so.
campy.
Oh.
So.
Okay.
Alright, number 5.
Alright, you go.
Okay, so my number 5, I have been in theater for a really long time, so I've had a little bit of time to, study and to go see musicals for a long time. My mom would give me Christmas presents, like she'd give me tickets to go see musicals. But the one that I didn't have to go see to fall in love with was Into the Woods. I actually saw that for the first time in theaters.
Shit. I forgot about that one.
Yeah. I saw that for the first time in theaters with Valentine, or with my mom, and then I went back like 2 days later and I saw it with Valentine, and we immediately fell in love, and we both bought the soundtracks on our phones. Like, we both still have the soundtracks on our phones, and we were like, hey, you can be the baker and I can be the baker's wife, and we had, our community theater was going to put it on.
But doesn't the baker's wife,
die? Yeah.
She also cheats on the baker.
And then she sings a song about, okay, never mind, I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
So
yeah.
It's a little irredeemable, but at the same time they're cute. So, and we felt like it was us, and he really felt connected to the baker's character. So that's my top 5, Into the Woods.
It's really cute. Okay, so my 5th one is Waitress.
Oh, okay.
Mostly because Dawn.
Kimiko Glenn. Yep.
Yep. I like that one. I specifically like Waitress for its its plot line, but I also love that song When He Sees Me.
Yeah, that's what got me into it. That's the first song that I heard from it, and I showed you that.
I feel like yeah, you did show me that, and I feel like that's what everybody goes through too. It's like that that love anxiety,
that fear of rejection.
Yeah,
but also that fear of even opening up yourself to
and
the prospect of rejection.
Getting essentially what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
Yeah, okay, so my number 4, Shrek the Musical.
Oh my god. Did I tell you to watch that, or did I tell Javier to watch that?
I watched that all on my own. I went to the theater and watched that in our local theater in Alaska because they came up there. And then I also watched it on Netflix.
Oh, right.
So I really liked it.
I have a funny story about that, actually. When Valentine and I were first starting to hang out before we started dating, I was supposed to be going over lines, and he was in the tech booth all the time, so he was doing lights and sounds. So he didn't have to memorize any lines, so he was just making staging notes. So he would help me with my lines. And while we were hanging out in the red room, while I was supposed to be going over my lines, we would instead, not do that, and we would be watching musicals, specifically Shrek the Musical, over and over, all the time, for days on end. It was great. We had a great time, and then we started dating, and now it's been 3 years. It's awesome.
Nice.
My top 4, actually, something that I tried to get him into as well. Be More Chill.
Oh, yeah.
I got you into it,
yeah.
but I haven't gotten him into it quite yet. even though at one point he invited me over to like spend a day or two at his apartment, and I got on his bed and I just sat there and I pulled open my phone and I was like, okay, here, and I played the entire soundtrack and he just sat there and listened to it with me, and he was like, Katie, I don't understand the context, and I like basically filled in every single gap of like, okay, in between this song and this song, here's exactly what happens so we can understand it. And he was like, huh, okay. So I don't know if he likes it or not, but I'm gonna get him to that point.
Yeah. Alright, so what's your third one?
God, my number 3, I think, is your number 1. Heather's.
Did you... did you look at my list?
I didn't. I just assumed. Is that your number 1?
No.
Okay.
Maybe. Shut up.
No, my number 3 is the Heathers. I, for some reason, really have fallen in love with the creepy, angry, sad, scary songs.
Like dark comedy, too.
Yeah. No, like, I liked the movie. I saw the movie first, and then I watched the musical, and then I watched the movie again. And that's the exact order that I told you to do it. And it made a lot of sense for both of us to do that. And it made the songs in the musical make more sense, and the context of the movie make more sense. And I feel like they go hand in hand. But I feel like there was some kind of version of Heathers the musical that I saw on YouTube, and they were singing Our Love Is God, and they had just killed someone, and Veronica says, what the fuck have you just done? And he turns to her without even blinking, just like the scariest thing he could do, and then says, I worship you. And I was just like, like I got chills. It scared me.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, you're number 3.
Well, it's not as dark as that. It's
okay.
more of a comedy. It's Be More Chill.
Okay.
The Be More Chill is my number 3. I really like that one because it's more so for the animatics, but I also really love the the intro was, More Than Survive, because it's, about high school, surviving high school.
Yeah, I feel like there were maybe like a few lines that I thought were like sloppy or like carelessly written, like, I see my Converse walking over there.
Okay,
like,
I really liked that part though, because it actually built up the suspense.
I mean, I understand that. I like the tone of the song, but I feel like the word choice could have been different and less lazy, I guess. Yeah. There were a few spots where I was like, if I was writing this, and I don't know anything about writing musicals, but if I was writing this, I would have made it this line, and I feel like it would have worked a little better.
Yeah. Okay. What's it? The second one? Is it my turn?
I'll go.
Okay.
My number 2 is Hamilton, for many reasons. At one point, I almost saw it in New York for free, but that plan kind of didn't go through. And I told Valentine, hey, I'm going to go to New York and see Hamilton. And then I came back, having not seen Hamilton, and he was like, hey, did you go see it? And I was like, no. And he said, hey, well, do you want to listen to the soundtrack with me? Because I know you wanted to go in blind. And I was like, no. And he got all sad because he like had started getting into Hamilton because he's a theater major in college, and he really got into it because his friends showed him, and I didn't want to listen to it with him, so he got all sad and kind of butthurt for a week or two. And I finally gave in, and I was like, okay, fine, I want to get into it, like to make him happy mostly. And his eyes lit up, and he played me the soundtrack, and I didn't understand it until I started, like, I couldn't tell the voices apart. So I started watching animatics, and I understood what was going on, and I fell in love with it. And now, like, when I go back home, we'll just put on the Hamilton soundtrack and blast it and scream in the car. It's amazing. I love it. So nice. It's a fun time.
Okay, so my second one was, I think, my first musical that I really, really loved, and that was, it's hard to pronounce. It's Les Miserables?
Les Mis.
Les Mis. I say it in the Spanish way.
Yeah,
I pronounce it in Spanish. I can't, French accents, I can't do it. But, yeah, I think I liked it more so because Hugh Jackman was in it. And he's like, Wolverine's always been my favorite, character. And I really loved the X-Men when I was little. So when I saw that in theaters, I was like, wow, I really love this. And, I don't know, the cinematography of that movie, and along with, like, the live, singing and orchestra, it was
Anne
really,
Hathaway
really
blew
good.
me away.
Yeah, she blew me away, too. Yeah.
Like, I've always loved Anne Hathaway for many, many reasons, but that just, like, that's not her top performance in my mind, but it's one of her top performances.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was my second one.
Yeah, so much respect.
Yeah.
And then, did you want to do it number one, or do
yeah,
you want me to go?
I can do that. My number one is, you called it Heathers.
I'm not surprised.
I think more so because it's like really, like, it's catchy. You know, it's really catchy.
It's really catchy.
It's dark.
Mm-hmm.
I like dark stories. Sometimes, only sometimes.
Yeah. It can get
Most Tim Burton
overwhelming.
stuff I never really liked, and then I don't like him. So.
Yeah, it doesn't help that he's like unapologetically racist and anti-Semitic. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I never really liked him, but I like the dark, stories that are okay, and that was Heather's.
Yeah.
And Heather's kind of like, you can kind of look deeper into it and like, oh, she's like being, emotionally, manipulated.
Right.
Oh, so.
There's something beyond the face value, and the more that you get into it, the more that you realize, and the more that you come to enjoy and respect all the work that went into it. And I feel
For
like
sure.
that's a big part of why we both like it so much.
For sure. And then the movie had Winona Ryder in it, so
Right.
I'm down.
And then Heather Chandler is hot, so.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So my number one. Last year, my mother gave me a Christmas present of like a surprise Christmas present for tickets for a musical, and she wouldn't tell me which one. And Valentine did some searching online, and he was like, "Hey, Book of Mormon is coming to Dallas, and they're performing like at one of the stadiums over there, like." Or performing halls.
Did
like,
he
we might
spoil it for you because you asked him to?
He guessed.
Ah.
No, he didn't spoil what Book of Mormon was, but he spoiled the surprise for my mom.
Still.
And I was like, "Hey, Mom, what is it?" And she's like, "Okay, fine, I'll tell you. It's Book of Mormon." And I had told her previously, "Hey, Mom, I really don't think you're going to like this because it's written by Trey Parker and Matt Stone,
right.
who write for South Park." And she hates South Park, like, with a vengeance. And I was like, "Mom, I really don't think you'll like it." So she got me tickets for me and Valentine. She got me 2 tickets, and I said, "Mom, did you want to go with me?" She's like, "Oh no, I'll hate it, but it's for Valentine." And I was like, "Okay, thanks."
That's
so
cute.
I know, I felt really bad though, but we went, and we had previously like listened to the soundtrack in the car like the year before. Like we had like an experience with this musical. We both really liked it, and then we saw it in person, and it was so much better than I could have ever imagined. We had such a great time.
So was it the one where Josh Gad was in? Oh,
yeah.
That's cool.
No, that's the one that Josh Gad was in the original Broadway cast.
That's cool.
No, so the original... oh my goodness, I'm sorry, Sunshine. My phone hit her in the head. Sorry, sweet pea. So, the Tonys, they got a Tony, like a few Tonys, I'm pretty sure, but they performed also at the Tony Awards, the original Broadway cast. And the opening song, the "Hello, my name is Elder," something, I forgot the name, but it was really good. And then beyond that, like, there's like a song or two to kind of help you, like, it makes context, and you don't even realize that it's going to be this raunchy, rude musical until 3 songs in, you're like, oh my god, Hasadiki Ibuai.
Right. So when I was kind of living with you, we started like listening to
the Book of Mormon,
and I was expecting something not that.
Right.
But then again, I hadn't known that it was the writers from South Park, so I was expecting something completely different.
Right.
And it was a good surprise, I feel, but I feel like it wouldn't be such a good surprise for many like super religious people.
No. So when I was there were a lot of older people, and I was like, okay, I don't know if they're like knowing what they're walking into,
right?
Or if they're just there, thinking, oh, this will be a nice, cool little introspective way to view another religion. I'm really interested in this. And then they have a song where they're telling God to, like, they want to, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is inappropriate, and I don't know what these old people think that they're doing, but I'm loving it, and I really hope that they're not, like, deeply offended.
Yeah.
But as I was looking around, everyone was laughing, so it didn't seem like it was bad.
Right.
I feel like everyone in there had a really fun time. It was great, and we were laughing for days on end.
So your number one is Book of Mormon?
My number one is Book of Mormon.
Nice.
No, like, hands down.
Nice. All right.
I feel like that might change when I go see Hamilton on stage, like in person, but I haven't yet, so at this point, Book of Mormon, definitely.
So, we're going to start wrapping it up. It's our top 10, our top 10 musicals, and
we'll have more coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, more
Stay
top 10
tuned.
videos, more Let's Plays.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you have any suggestions of what top 5 things per person, top 10s that you want us to post, any topics, let us know. We're thinking about maybe doing like Disney or animated movies, vines maybe. I don't know. Tell us what you guys want to hear, and we'll try to incorporate that.
Right. All right. Thank you very much. This has been M&K Gaming, our top 5 musicals. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Have a great time.